Hey everybody, I'm Wildman Wes.
I'm the Big Bad Wolf Benny.
And I'm DJC.
And welcome to our upcoming new movie reviews on the Wild Wolf Show. Today, we've been waiting a while for this one. Ladies and gentlemen, here's our review for Star Wars The Last Jedi. Oof. Oofa.
Now, there's been a lot of positive reviews, there's been a lot of negative reviews, so we're just going to give you our review.
Yeah, pretty much.
I've heard Mark Hamill's not too happy with the direction of it. I mean, if Luke Skywalker says he's not happy with it, I think you got to kind of agree with him. I did like it, I'm not going to lie, but I mean...
Yeah, I loved it. I mean, to an extent, I did.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
I really think they try to pay too many, homages to the original ones.
Yeah.
I think that's what kind of hurt it.
Oh, and before we get into it, really, spoiler alert.
If we didn't mention that, sorry guys.
Yeah, so I mean, it definitely, especially with Force Awakens, these, last two movies definitely hit the kind of template between 1 through 3 and 4 through 6.
Yeah.
In with 1 and 4, a mentor dies. In 2 and 6, you kind of get
the same pattern. Yeah,
it's following the same
kind of
pattern.
know the pattern that's going to happen.
Yeah, and with this one, obviously, with Empire, Yoda training Luke, with Part 8, it's following that same type of template where Rey is trained by Luke, even though at first he's very hesitant, but then he eventually gives in and does it.
They added a whole lot of new powers with the Force. Not saying it was a bad thing. I'm just saying, you're kind of knowing what you could do with the Force.
I mean, it definitely taps kind of on a lot of the games in the Star Wars universe, like Force Unleashed. It definitely shows a little bit more into that, a little more in depth, And
it was cool. Luke's thing he did at the end of the movie. I'm not going to ruin that for you. You know what he did.
Yeah.
That was different. We've never seen anything like that before.
The one thing that gets me is Princess Leia. When the ship blows up.
Yeah, she actually gets to use some Force powers.
Yeah, because the thing is, it's technically because, she's, with
Luke,
Skywalker, the Force is strong with her. So it was just, I had never seen anything like that. And it kind of threw me off, but,
like I said, it's just, they're getting a whole lot of new Force powers, which is not a bad thing when you're just so used to. You kind of, you can lift things with your mind, you can run a little bit faster, you can heal, all that good stuff.
And I can understand why fans would kind of get a little bit irritated with, breaking tradition of the normal things that we see in the SWU. I mean...
Yes.
Well, as far as, with the new powers, I heard some people talking about it, saying that since there's so much of this Force that's out there, and there's all these less people using it, maybe that's why it's able to create more of things that they wouldn't be able to use before.
Yeah,
maybe.
It's almost like being on your computer at home and the internet, and then you're moving real fast. But if you've got 3 other people over on the internet,
makes sense. If the Force is out there, I get what you're saying. So basically, the Force is out there. If there's less people using it, that means they can use greater portions of it. Okay, I get what you're saying. That kind of makes sense. I mean, I wouldn't say it might not be 100% accurate. But it makes sense to me.
I mean, another thing that kind of got me is I understand with the concept of new movies in a saga, you want to freshen it up a little bit with humor, things like that. Even in Force Awakens, with the character of Poe, with a lot of his comedy, it's funny to a degree. But in this one, I think they kind of relied too much on the comedy. And I mean, comedy's good when it's done the right way. And in this sense, it was done to a degree, but I think, like you said, overdid it maybe just a little bit. But I mean, it was still good nonetheless.
I want to talk about the big problem I have with the movie, the villains.
Oh,
Kylo Ren, I've never been a big fan of him. He's not a horrible villain. He's just not a great villain to me. I'm sorry. And then you had Snoke, the Supreme Leader Snoke, and
Snoke. Yeah.
Come on, wow.
We all know that Snoke is a stormtrooper that dinged his head in New Hope. We all know.
But I'm whoa, what happened to him? What? Huh?
And is it just me, or is, Kylo Ren so emo, when he's trying to hold he's really trying to hold
he's just... Yeah.
Just let it out, Kylo. I mean, Jesus.
I will give it to him, though, the fight scene he had with Rey.
I'll give him that.
Yeah.
So that was a cool fight for him, so that kind of renewed my faith in him a little bit, but just the way Snoke, what happened with Snoke, I don't really want to ruin it for him, because it's you make him seem like this big, powerful Force user, and then...
he goes out like a punk.
And about that part, that scene there, we were talking about it before, that that was the climax of that. And, and there was a couple questions that answered. What happened to Snoke happened, and I feel that then should have been the end of the movie.
That's what I thought it was going to be.
In the last, 20, 30 minutes afterwards.
It should have been the beginning of
Episode 9. Yeah. Because at that moment with Snoke, we were like...
I would have bought that.
I mean, literally, when I saw it, I was like, yes!
Leave us on a cliffhanger. Does Rey become evil?
Yeah, we got that death, and then, the next death that happened, I think it was just like, okay. Now it's too much.
I think they literally did that just so they could follow the formula of the other movies, and it's just like you didn't need to.
Yeah, no. One segment that, for me, it wasn't necessarily a bad thing, but it's kind of how life imitates art. We all know about the circumstances regarding Carrie Fisher's passing, this last year, and during the movie, she is unconscious and basically on life support. And I looked at DJC and I looked at him in the theater and I kind of muttered, why am I so uncomfortable with this? Why is this too close to home? And it just, I don't know. I mean, I know that wasn't what they were intending to do, but at the same time, in a real life situation, I just kind of went, I don't know if I can watch the rest of this movie seeing that now, but we're committed.
I think my favorite part of the whole movie was Yoda when he came back. He was talking to Luke and...
Oh, yeah.
Just, destroys the Jedi little temple that they still had left, and he's just like, just being Yoda, having that ultimate wisdom. Even though, Luke's very wise at this point, but still, he's got a lot to learn, obviously, because Yoda still, one-ups him, causes the thunderstorm, and just books they do. It was awesome. And Yoda's the best. I mean, still waiting for that Solo movie.
Yeah. We're still waiting on the Solo movie, too.
That's coming out.
I'm looking forward to that one. Yeah. Oh, I mean, other than that, I can't really think of anything.
Well, we could rate it, I guess, real fast for everybody.
Yeah. Why don't you start us off on that?
Let's see. Following the series, it's alright. Humor, I think they overdid do it. Like I said, they just try to pay too many homages to the original trilogy, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and I don't think it really works in this case.
Well,
overall, though, not a bad movie. You gotta see it at least once. I mean, it's the wars, yo.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a solid B-.
Okay.
Probably top 4 out of all the movies so far. Top 4. I'll give it that.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I would. I think I would rate it a B+. It would have got higher, like I said, if they would have ended it where I thought it should have been ended.
I thought they were too, man.
And I was also happy that they didn't oversaturate it with those porgs.
Oh, God.
Because, when you're seeing the commercial, you're like, oh, no, here comes Ewoks again. But,
Ewoks always win.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you have to admit, it was rather funny of the little interaction between Chewbacca and the one porg when he's about to eat one. But I agree with DJC on this one. I'm going to have to give it a B+ as well. I mean, like he said, I probably would have given it a higher grade if it weren't for the extra footage after the death of Snoke, because
it could have ended right there, and then you could have started the next movie up.
Because it was a very, very high point. Because he went out. I mean, he went out like a punk, but it was unexpected. I mean, it was almost kind of like Count Dooku in Episode 3 going out like the punk that he did. But this one was a little more epic because it wasn't expected.
Yeah. We
really didn't expect it, and I liked it. But like you said, it kind of went on a little too long after that moment that wasn't needed. But, the other thing that kind of put me down to a B+ would have to be, I think they tried to use too many side stories in this one, which Star Wars is known to do that with making sure that
6-7 side stories in this?
Give or take. But I mean, the thing is, it's like they're normally like that. But it just seemed like they went back and forth a little too much.
Well, I mean, let's do kind of off real fast how many side stories. You had Luke and Rey.
Yep.
Rey and Kylo. You had Pope and
Poe and
Rose. Poe and Rose, right?
No, Finn and Rose.
Finn and Rose.
My bad.
Poe on the ship having his conflict with everybody.
Yeah. You got Kylo and Snoke.
I mean, you just wanted to be so invested in every single one, and eventually, by the time you start to get really invested in one, it goes to another one. So, I mean...
just too many. Like, 3 max we can deal with.
Well, yeah, but I mean...
6, 7, that's just too many. Too many stories you're trying to keep up.
Overload, sensory overload. But
anyways... you're literally trying to figure out, too, like, how, like, time frame-wise, how are these working together?
Yeah. And with, some of the characters no longer being around,
Yeah.
it's probably going to narrow it down quite a bit. I mean, after all, we lost Han in Part 7, and we lost another one in this one. And we're probably going to lose another one due to given circumstances, unless they CGI it, but...
They said they're not going to do that.
Oh, good.
Nah, they don't want to.
Yeah, so.
All right, well, yeah. So,
all right.
Looks like we've got another review in the books. We hope you enjoyed this video. As always, make sure you like, comment, share, and as always, push the red button. And ring the bell for instant notifications on upcoming content. Until then, I'm Wildman Wes.
I'm your big bad wolf Benny.
And I'm DJC.
And we will see you next time.